Hello viewers, this is Vernali and you are watching Niche English. Today I am going to share with you 3 tips or tricks that would help you to speak English fluently and confidently. Don't worry, I am not going to ask you to read books or watch BBC News because I know if you are someone like me, you are never going to enjoy the process. And if you want to learn something and you don't enjoy the process of learning, you never learn it well. The tips that I am going to give you today, or the tricks that I am going to talk to you about, are all tried and tested methods on myself. So, let's start. So, here is tip number 1: observe the language. Do you remember how you learnt your mother tongue? Well, it's not like that you were born and you started speaking your mother tongue, right? What happened? First, the people around you, they started speaking to you. They started repeating certain words to you. They started repeating certain sentence pattern to you. And slowly and gradually, you started picking bits and pieces of the language. And you started putting it together. And finally, you started speaking. That's how you learned your mother tongue, right? Apply the same formula to learn English as well. Start observing the language. So, how do you observe the language? Well, you can start by watching English movies, listening to English songs, podcast, or sports commentary. And if you don't like any of this, you can just simply start by watching English cartoon, where they use the language in the most simplified form. Whatever you like, you pick that, okay? And just start listening. Just start observing the language and enjoy the process. Tip number 2: think in English. I know this is not easy, but trust me, once you get the hang of it, it becomes as easy as thinking in your mother tongue. I picked up this habit in my early 20s when I was 22 or 23 years of age. And Bengali is my mother tongue, Assamese is my second language. And English, what do I say? English is my third language. Yes, English is my third language. But after a decade of following this process of thinking in English, today, whenever I think on any topic, 50% of the time I am thinking in English. And this comes naturally to me. I don't need to put any effort. So if you really want to speak English, you have to start thinking in English. Tip number 3, well, it's pretty obvious. Start speaking the language. I know this is the most difficult part, but this is the most essential part as well. This is the most difficult part because initially you are going to make a lot of mistakes and people are going to laugh at you. But don't let that set you back. Because the same people who'd laugh at you in the beginning are going to be the same people who would be stuck with awe when you would speak the language fluently. So embrace your mistakes, learn from them, and remember one thing: spoken English is a practical skill. It's not an academic skill, or it's not an academic subject which you can excel by reading a book. Let's understand this with a practical example. Let's say, for example, how do people learn to drive? People learn to drive by getting into the car and starting to drive. Now, how do people learn to swim? People learn to swim by getting into the water and starting to swim. That's how they learn to swim, right? So, if you want to speak a language, whether it is English, whether it is Hindi, or whether it is any other language, you have to start by starting to speak the language. You're going to make a lot of mistakes on the way, but you have to keep on speaking the language. Keep on speaking the language, and the fluency would come with time. So, these are the tricks that I have applied in my personal life to become a better speaker of English. Do apply these tricks in your life and let me know in the comment section if you have any other trick in your bag which you have applied to become a better speaker of English. That's all for today. Thank you.